Hey guys, welcome to another video. And today I'm going to talk about getting a job in the US as a mechanical engineer. So, mechanical engineering is a little tricky when you're trying to get a job, and the reason for that is certain industries are really cut off from you. So, defense, aerospace, and anything with the military side is strictly not allowed for international students. And for that reason, I wanted to make a video separately for mechanical engineering students. So, a little background about myself. I have a master's degree from ASU and I graduated at 2024. And since then, I have taken job at three different places. So, I initially had a job as an internship in 2023. After that, I took a co-op in early 2024 just before graduating, and later towards the end of 2024 I took up another full-time job. So I've been through the job hunt process at least three times here in the US, and over these like 2 3 years I've learned a few tips and tricks that I want to share with you here. So starting off, the first thing is the resume. There are two types of resumes. One's called the ATS resume, that's ATS friendly, and one's a more like colorful resume that goes directly to a human recruiter who kind of sees it and would like seeing something colorful. So over here, I prefer first making an ATS friendly resume because 99% of the time, your resume is going to be put through some sort of filtration process that uses ATS style, filtering, and for that reason, go ahead and make that resume first. It's it has like a detailed step by step process to it, like what comes first, second, third, and the format for this is usually available with the university either through their career services or things like that. So I link down ASU's career service link where you could find that format, and just plug in your details and you'll have the ATS resume kind of ready there. So that is the first thing. The next I want to talk about is like what kind of comes into the resume. So one category that I have incorporated into mine much later in the process was a summary section, and I really felt that having a summary section was very helpful. The summary section just highlights like key points that are very relevant to the job description that I'm applying for, and it has like just like three or four hard hitting bullet points that kind of tell the recruiter why they should hire me for that position. So it has all the skills, and it kind of highlights certain experiences as to why I have those skills over there. So that summary section is super important. I cannot stress enough, and I highly recommend having a summary section starting off on your resume. After the summary section, I have a skill section where I kind of talk about all the software that I've worked with. For mechanical engineers, I see a lot of companies there asking for like SolidWorks or some sort of CAD skill, basic like drawing like GD&T, and some experience working with different machining technologies. So that is what I put into my skill section, and I think that is a good way of highlighting it. From there, I jump into my experience section and I put the latest experience first, and the latest and the most relevant experience first, and then I kind of go down from there, kind of chronologically. So I am someone who came to the US with like about 5 6 years of experience, so that definitely helped kind of boost my profile in terms of getting a job. But in case you don't have like a lot of work experience behind you, definitely use this section to kind of highlight projects, especially like personal projects and also projects that you did while you are at university. And this kind of leads to my next point. For mechanical engineers specifically, a lot of companies ask you to kind of create a portfolio of your projects. So I see that it's very common for most mechanical students not to have a portfolio and just kind of like not apply to jobs that ask for them or just not put one. But a lot of times their applications are rejected because the portfolio isn't available for your recruiters to see, and this is really critical. So I would say very early on in the application process, create your portfolio of projects, have it in a nice like well formatted PDF, and be ready to kind of send it out. So this is one key mistake I see a lot of people do. I did it myself, and try to avoid that. Have a portfolio ready. The next thing I want to talk about on your resume is how you kind of describe your key projects. So there are certain verbs called as like action verbs, and you want to use certain action verbs and you do not want to use certain action verbs. So there was a person at the career services who kind of gave me a document that says, hey, use these and don't use these. So I'm going to kind of list that document on this video, and you all can use that, so try to keep that on mind. Then when you write your descriptions of the work that you had done at the company, don't just like write what work you did, but you want to like try to state your accomplishments there. So like an example to give is like, just don't say I did XYZ. Try to like give a statement where what your task was, how you achieved it, and what impact it brought to the company. So there is already a lot about this out there on the internet, but I just wanted to have it here. And I think the last thing is like formatting your resume properly. So I see a lot of people who use many different fonts, many different like bullet point sizes, and it's just little messy, not aligned. So when you are creating your ADS friendly resume, make sure that the fonts are similar, your sizing is also similar, and you're using all of your writing is properly aligned. So that's really important because it stands out immediately like if that's not there. Next I want to talk about like application timing. So this is like specifically for students, for applying for like summer internships, especially if you join in the fall. A good time to start applying is December. So although you don't get a lot of feedback in December itself from recruiters because it's a holiday season, December is a time when you're not like going to class, you don't have any courses, you have a lot of free time. So really press the accelerator in December and kind of get as many applications going out as possible. The first fall semester that I was here in the US, I applied to like about 500 companies in December, and then I got like one call in towards January, end of January, and I was able to convert it towards February, March. So I feel like that's the timeline you should have. I was able to redo the same thing for my co-op in 2024. I applied in December, got a call in January, and by February, March, I was able to convert. And what I feel when I talk to other students is this is a very similar pattern. Like January, February is when a lot of companies start gearing up for hiring for the summer internship or for the fresher positions, the new grad positions. And so that's the time when recruiters are also kind of reaching out. So if your resume hits them sometime December, they'll keep you in mind earlier in the year. Next I want to talk about like platforms which I use to apply. So for me, the go-to platform has always been LinkedIn. I use the LinkedIn job section, and I also use like Indeed and Glassdoor. But these two I usually just turn on like the notifications, and I just like go through my mail probably once every 1-2 days and just go through the jobs and see what's there. But LinkedIn, I'm on there every day. So when I go to the job section, I put mechanical engineering, the search, and I generally go through probably all the kind of job listings there. What I found on LinkedIn is that although there are jobs available, it just doesn't show up on the job listings when you search through the job listings page. So one thing that I do is to always like change up the keywords. I just don't use mechanical engineering. I use like SolidWorks, or I use like some other keyword that would be similar or that would be part of a job description for mechanical engineers, and that would bring in some jobs that were not showing earlier. And I would also change the location. So initially I would just put like United States in the location, but then I would go state wise. I would California or New York or Texas. I would change states, and suddenly it would populate jobs that were not showing before. So this is like LinkedIn does have a little bit of a buggy system. So make sure that you're trying to game it a little bit and trying to make LinkedIn push out more jobs for you. So that is something that is important. The other thing that has really helped me on LinkedIn was applying to jobs that had very low applicants already. So all three of the roles that I picked up, all of them had probably less than 5 applicants. So that was one point that really stood out to me. I did interview for roles that had like 100 plus applicants, but unfortunately I wasn't able to convert them. The ones that I did convert had like 5 or less applicants in them, so that is something you want to keep in mind. The second kind of important thing is the timing. Like when you look at the LinkedIn job posting, you want to apply to it within like the first 2 weeks after it was posted. Anything after that, it means that the recruiter is already down the road with a couple of other candidates, and it's just a harder task for you to catch up on that. So I would say apply as early as possible once the job is posted. That way your resume gets noticed early, and if you're up in the like top 5-10%, getting noticed is important. It means you probably getting to the next round. So that is something important to keep in mind. The next thing that I have for LinkedIn is like cold messaging potential managers. So when I see a job posting, I try to go and figure out could possibly who could possibly be the hiring manager for that role, and I reach out to him on LinkedIn and I send like a cookie cutter message that I have saying that, hey, how are you doing? And I came across this position. I'm really interested. These are the reasons why I would be a good fit for the role. I put 5 bullet points there. If I am allowed to like attach a resume or something, I would do it. And then I send the message, and out of like 20-30 messages that I sent, I got like 4 interviews just because of this. One of the roles, the co-op that I got was also through a cold message. So really try cold messaging on LinkedIn. I feel it's way better than cold emails, because emails you don't know if somebody's reading it, it's going to spam, or if the email ID you have is correct or not. But cold messaging, it definitely goes to their inbox, and they might ignore you, but they got it, and a lot of them do tend to respond. Some may be negative, but even 1 or 2 positive ones could send you the right way. So these are the points that I have from my side for mechanical engineers. All the best to you on your application, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.